Okay. I think we got it settled now. Messed, messed up everything this morning. I messed up everything this morning. Oh my gosh. I think I like hit start stream and then I accidentally hit the end button. So let's make sure that we actually are live. Oh my gosh. Okay, we actually are live. Cool. Perfect. All right. Welcome. It's Sunday. Sunday, January 5th, 2025. I'm Matt with So Cincy. We are in Mark chapter 5, reading through the New Testament this year, Monday through Friday. We were supposed to start last Monday. I didn't know that. Like I said before in the stream, if I were to become president, every January 1 will start on a Monday or a Sunday. I'm okay with both. And then, like I said, if it's January 31st on a Friday, Saturday is January 32nd. Simple as that. It just threw me off. I like having things start on either a Sunday or Monday, more towards the beginning of the week. Anyways, so you can follow along with us. You can go to 5daybiblereading.com and you can download the schedule. So they have, this is the whole Bible that they do for 2025. And it's this plan here. And so they hang out in places like Genesis and Psalm and then Mark. And so other people are reading through Genesis. I've read through Genesis multiple times because I've attempted to read through the Bible multiple times. And I'm not going to read Genesis again because I'll be honest, I just don't want to. I don't, that's okay. I just don't want to. I read Genesis all the time when I try to read through the Bible in a year. And it's a tough read. It's a tough read. Those first 5 books are tough. They're full of good, don't get me wrong, they're full of good stuff. I'm not saying they're not worthless. Just for me, they're a tough read. But you can follow along at 5daybiblereading.com. You can pick up that plan. It's absolutely free. You can download it and you can read along with us. We're Mark 5 today. We'll be Mark 6 through what? We'll be Mark 6 through Mark 10 all this week, and then I will be off on weekends. So we were only doing the weekend just so we can catch up. And it has been a struggle to get up at 5:45 so that we can start at 6:30 promptly. All right. Turn the music down just a tad bit more. We're going to hop right into Mark chapter 5. So they arrived at the other side of the lake in the region of the Gerasenes. I think I'm saying that right. When Jesus climbed out of the boat, a man possessed by an evil spirit came out from the tombs to meet him. This man lived in the burial caves and could no longer be restrained, even with a chain. Whenever he was put in the chains and shackles, as he often was, he snapped the chains from his wrists and smashed the shackles. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Day and night he wandered among the burial caves and in the hills, howling and cutting himself with sharp stones. When Jesus was still some distance away, the man saw him, ran to meet him, and bowed low before him. With a shriek he screamed, "Why are you interfering with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In the name of God, I beg you, don't torture me." For Jesus had already said to the spirit, "Come out of the man, you evil spirit." Then Jesus demanded, "What is your name?" And he replied, "My name is Legion, because there are many of us inside this man." Then the evil spirits begged him again and again not to send them to some distant place. There happened to be a large herd of pigs feeding on the hillside nearby. "Send us into those pigs," the spirits begged. "Let us enter them." So Jesus gave them permission. The evil spirits came out of the man and entered the pigs, and the entire herd of about 2,000 pigs plunged down to the steep hillside into the lake and drowned in the water. The herdsmen fled to the nearby town and the surrounding countryside, spreading the news as they ran. People rushed out to see what had happened, And a crowd soon gathered around Jesus, and they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons. He was sitting there fully clothed and perfectly sane, and they were all afraid. Then those who had seen what happened told the others about the demon-possessed man and the pigs. And the crowd began pleading. I lost my spot. I always do this. Oh, and the crowd began pleading with Jesus to go away and leave them alone. Right there. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him, but Jesus said, "No, go home to your family and tell them everything the Lord has done for you and how merciful he has been." So the man started off to visit the 10 towns of that region and began to proclaim the great things Jesus had done for them. And everyone was amazed at what he told them. What is the 10 towns? Decapolis, okay. Jesus got into the boat again and went back to the other side of the lake, where a large crowd gathered around him on the shore. Then a leader of the local synagogue, whose name was Jairus, arrived. When he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet, pleading fervently with him. "My little daughter is dying," he said. "Please come and lay your hands on her. Heal her so she can live." Jesus went with him, and all the people followed, crowding around him. A woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she had spent everything she had to pay them, but she had gotten no better. In fact, she'd gotten worse. She had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. For she thought to herself, "If I can just touch his robe, I will be healed." Immediately, the bleeding stopped, and she could feel in her body that she had been healed of her terrible condition. Jesus realized at once that healing power had gone out from him, so he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my robe?" His disciples said to him, "Look at this crowd pressing around you. How can you ask who touched me?" But he kept on looking around to see who had done it. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization of what had happened to her, came and fell to her knees in front of him and told him what she had done. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over." While he was still speaking to her, messengers arrived from the home of Jairus, the leader of the synagogue. They told him, "Your daughter is dead. There's no use troubling the teacher now." But Jesus overheard them and said to Jairus, "Don't be afraid, just have faith." Then Jesus stopped the crowd and wouldn't let anyone go with him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. When they came to the home of the synagogue leader, Jesus saw much commotion and weeping and wailing. He went inside and asked, "Why all this commotion and weeping? The child isn't dead, she's only asleep." The crowd laughed at him, but he made them all leave, and he took the girl's father and mother and his 3 disciples into the room where the girl was lying. Holding her hand, he said to her, "Talitha koum," which means, "Little girl, get up." I don't know if I said that right, but that's okay. And the girl, who was 12 years old, immediately stood up and walked around. They were overwhelmed and totally amazed. Jesus gave them strict orders not to tell anyone what had happened, and then he told them to give her something to eat. That is Mark chapter 5. Okay. So, a few things. 2 things, to be exact. I wonder and I could probably find it, but I'm just not going to look personally. Maybe someone can leave a comment in the chat, aka Brandon or Hannah, my 2 biggest fans. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, but y'all are. I wonder. I'm curious. Not why, because I don't like to dig for why, because why is it's hard to find whys. But I'm wondering if there's any significance to the, what do you call it? The spirits begging to go into the pigs versus a distant place. I've read Mark 5 a bunch of times as well. I've always wondered that, but I've just never looked at it. Maybe I'll look it up. Who knows? I'm just curious if there's any significance to that. I always think that's interesting. So yeah, the second thing. So for the second thing, we need to go back one chapter, and we're gonna go all the way to the bottom of Mark 4. And it says disciples were, this was them in the boat. They went out, there was a storm, and they asked the question. Well, Jesus stops the storm. Jesus asks the question, or the disciples say, who is this man? Even the wind and waves obey him. And then as you keep reading, when you go to Mark 5, so they know that Jesus can control nature. Then they witness him controlling demons. Well, do they? I don't know if they do or not. I don't think I read anywhere where they're with him. They might be with him. Like the disciples might be with Jesus. I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, so I'm still going to say what I wanted to say. So Jesus then controls this demon possessed man and tells the demons to go away. And then with some of the disciples with him, the three, who was it again? Maybe it was all of them. Okay. So I think all of them were with him from verse 31, where it says, look at this crowd pressing around you. How can you ask who touched me? So they witnessed him heal the woman who'd been suffering for 12 years. So that now they see that he can control health and disease. And then at the end of chapter 5, he heals the little girl. He revives her immediately. And so they've seen what, 4 things? Maybe 4 things, at least 3. He can control nature. He can control demons. He can control sickness. And he can control death. Now, you might think, wow, Matt, what a revelation. That's crazy. You're so smart, Matt. No, I'm not. That's the power of what happens when you get a commentary. Like, it's cool that you learn these new things. Like, there's So if you're studying the Bible and there's things you don't know, get a commentary, and the commentary can help you, because what I just said was from Constable's notes. And there's some other neat stuff in here. Like Constable makes the connection that the woman was had 12 years of suffering. The girl was afflicted for 12 years. There's some significance there. And he says the woman had begun living when she should have died from her incurable condition. And that's just like, when you think about it, right? Like when someone gets like terrible news, life gets put into perspective. And so the woman who was suffering, like, she began to live, so to speak. Like, things became more significant to her because of her suffering. And then she praises Jesus. Well, I don't know if she's thankful. I mean, ultimately, she's absolutely thankful. Like, let's be clear about that. But Like it was the faith, and she started living, that got her to, I gotta get to this Jesus guy. I gotta do anything and everything. I gotta push through this crowd and stuff like that. And it's just cool things to see, man. So if you're not understanding the Bible, like if there's things you want to know about the Bible, obviously first pray that there's revelation, that you personally can make those connections, that like, oh, like that's cool, like the girl was suffering for 12 years, the woman, I don't know if she's a young woman, older woman, the woman was suffering for 12 years, the girl died when she was 12. Like that's, oh, okay. I never would have made that connection. I didn't make that connection until I just read it this morning. And so I'm like, okay, that's a cool, like that's a cool connection. I didn't see that before. I also didn't see the connection of Jesus seeing controlling nature. Like I know Jesus can control nature because he's Jesus, obviously, like the whole revelation. But in a chapter and a verse, you can see that he controls nature and demons and sickness and death, like all right there. And I'd never seen that before until I read through. So as you're reading the Bible, if you're like trying to figure out, like read a commentary along with, and there's tons of commentaries out there that you can get. Which ones are good? I don't know. That's a question for Brandon, which you can catch him 9:30 Monday through Friday over at, what's his, Brandon Woodard Enterprises, I think. We just keep shouting each other out back and forth. I'm okay with that. But there are people smarter than me. He's one of them. And there's other people on YouTube and the Googles that you can use, and it's free and it's online. You click on Constable, you go to the notes, you can, what's PDF? Well, I always do PDF. I don't know what HTML is. Ew, why is it all black? I don't like that. It's awful. Ugh. Yuck. Give me in a PDF form. There we go. Much better. That's readable. I can't do dark mode. I try to do dark mode and I just can't. But anyways, you got a free commentary here, man. And it's trustworthy. And I've said this before. What I like about it is that it's his thoughts plus he throws in the thoughts of others. I don't know if other commentaries do that. They probably do. I don't know. But it's a cool thing to have, the commentaries that you can see, like, so you can learn more. Like, it's what you'll get more out of than just a study Bible. Typically, like a study Bible, like they'll put like these commentary type notes like in it so you can see it. Like that's great. Like we have, not with me. I thought I did. I thought I had the Tony Evans study Bible, but I do not. It's somewhere. It's in a box somewhere. But there's lots of things you can go to and check it out. So a study Bible kind of does like the same thing. Like if you want something a little bit thicker that you want to read and study with, like that's going to be a great resource as well. But a commentary just does the same thing. I like my Bibles to be thin. Like I prefer, and I mean like, right? Like this is what I like. Like this is my Mark Bible, which is just, it's a journal Bible that I like, that's not written in because I haven't started Mark yet in my 7-year Bible reading plan. But what I like about it, it's got the Bible on, this is terrible, I can't just trust me, I got the Bible on one side, I got, oh actually let me do this, dummy, stupid, there, you can actually see it now. It's got the Bible on one. That light is unforgiving on this white. There, see, it's got the Bible on one side, and then it's got space for notes on the other. I like thin. I prefer thin, and so study Bible just makes it thicker. But anyways, I'm rambling now. But that's Mark 5. We'll be in Mark 6 tomorrow morning, 6:30. If you like this, subscribe to the channel. Share this video if you want to. I would appreciate it. Brandon has a goal. He's trying to get to 500. Look, we've been sitting at 81 subscribers comfortably for the past 8 months. So I'm just trying to get to 100 subscribers. So when we get to 100 subscribers, then we'll work on 125. We're breaking down our goal smaller and smaller. So if we can get 19 subscribers, if you've been watching and you're not subscribed, and I know you personally, I'm coming for you. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Don't get me banned on YouTube. But anyways, I'm Matt with So Cincy. You can give us a follow everywhere on social media, and tune in tomorrow 6:30. We'll see you right here. Love you guys. Have a great Sunday. Deuces.